The International Committee of the Red Cross says hospitals are overwhelmed in Goma. That's in the Democratic Republic of Congo due to the war in the east. Most of those seeking medical help are civilians, which has raised a great concern about civilians being ultimate casualties of this war. Now, the ICRC was addressing members of the media in Pretoria today. Attending that briefing is Newzroom Afrika reporter Nqobile Madlala, who is with me in studio this afternoon. Nqobile, good afternoon to you. Let's touch on the key issues that came out of that particular briefing.
A grim picture, Goli. That's what they have painted. They basically told us that they have dealt with so much that they are basically overwhelmed. They currently need assistance, one. Number two, you have issues of hospitals that are currently overwhelmed. They've spoken about the fact that when there's war, please do not destruct their infrastructure. And in this case, it seems hospitals are also casualties of those. And when they work, they suffer the impact of what has taken place in these areas. Then there's also the people that have been affected. I mean, there are already headlines talking about over 2,000 bodies that are going to be buried in Goma. You've got over 2 million that live people that live in the city, and these people are scared. Some of them are displaced. Some of them have been separated with their families. Some of them have had to be assisted to find their families. ICRC has had to take people's numbers, try to sort of take pictures here and find a person there so that they can put families together. Further than that, you also have people that seek assistance, and they're talking about a number of people that have come into their doors basically seeking assistance. And in fact, they're saying that it's over 6 times more than the kind of people that they would treat during war. And this is wounds. They're talking about wounds that would be in your head. It would be severe wounds that they have to deal with. And so there's death everywhere and around them. And they're saying they've even gotten to a point where they've had to take bodies and try to clear bodies, hundreds of bodies in the streets. This is how bad the situation is there.
I wonder whether they are aware of this unilateral ceasefire in order to facilitate humanitarian assistance. And this has been declared by the M23 rebels. This is now the militant group that we understand has control of the city of Goma. And did they say anything about that? And what kind of assistance, by the way, are they going to need if indeed that humanitarian corridor is given?
Well, at this point, Goli, from what we understand, they're saying that they're now aware of that treaty, but you must understand that there was war, so they still are dealing with what has already occurred, which is the first part. The second part is the fact that people require health related assistance. So whether you got burnt, you got hurt, you in any other way, so they need to be able to get as much help from the donors that can perhaps give them the money or whatever way where you can donate so that they're able to assist people on the ground. But at the same time, what you're talking about, Koli, is something we know as Geneva Conventions. Now, this is what they've been talking about, laws of war. Now, this is an issue because they've said in the past it has not been respected. This mainly speaks about the wounded, the sick, that you must respect and give them their rights. They are the protected people. So the ceasefire then gives them a chance to be able to get to those people, and then it gives them a chance to be able to deliver that humanitarian assistance. But people are displaced, and it's not just the DRC alone. We're talking about the issues that are taking place in Sudan as well. And in Sudan, you have people, about 400,000 people have been accounted for that have moved over to Egypt. This to be accommodated as refugees. How many more people have been affected? So this is why they're saying civilians are becoming casualties in this war. I mean, when people are fighting, you're not saying they must kill each other, but soldiers at least know how to deal with it. But when you're a civilian, what do you do? And that's what they're basically looking at. But let's listen into what they had to say.
Goma, the capital of North Kivu province of DRC, witnessed heavy shelling and shooting in densely populated areas. Now, that resulted again in an influx of injured. I want to just tell you that we usually have war surgery programs running in the east of Congo. But the surprise is that as of January, we have seen sixfold the number of injured that we received in the ICRC supported hospital in Ndosho. Meaning, in December 2024, we had admitted a little bit less than 100. Now we're treating 600 and up and running with much more people.
Well, that's the International Committee of the Red Cross. And Nqobile Madlala, thank you very much for giving us some highlights of the situation that now obtained in the DRC on the back of the conflict that we have witnessed over the past few days. Thank you very much for the time being, Nqobile Madlala.